What's up everyone, Slasher Movies here, and look, I will admit this video is more for me than it is for you, but ladies and gentlemen, let's count down the top 10 worst movies of 2016. Now look, 2016 was kind of more of a love it or hate it year. There are people who are defending the year and there are people who are saying it was the worst year ever, and I think that mainly just has to go to on what movies you were highly anticipating. If you were anticipating a lot of blockbusters and superhero movies, you were probably disappointed with 2016, but I actually thought it was a pretty good year, despite these 10 films we're about to talk about today, because ladies and gentlemen, I got some venting to do, so pull up a seat, grab some popcorn, and let's rip some movies to shreds. Of course, before we get into the list, let's shout out a few dishonorable mentions. These movies are bad, they're not top 10 worst bad, but definitely stay far, far away from them. Inferno, Now You See Me 2, The Choice, God's Not Dead 2, and Mother's Day. Now on to the top 10 list. Now starting the list off at number 10, I have Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Now look, I almost didn't put this movie on the list, but I just had to just because I just personally did not like this movie. And I love Ang Lee as a filmmaker. Sometimes he strikes gold with films like Life of Pi, and then sometimes he misses the mark completely, like Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. This movie is a mess, and basically on all cylinders in my opinion. It's overly stylized, and the visuals just get extremely distracting. The narrative flow of this movie jumps all over the place to the point where you really don't know what you're supposed to be focusing on. I didn't really care for the performances. I found Kirsten Stewart completely underutilized in this movie, and the worst thing of all about this movie, just the fact that it's a complete mess of a film, is it gives you a fake Beyonce. A fake Beyonce. You don't give me a fake Beyonce. Even the fact that they bring some Destiny Child people in this movie, and they're fake. We just get the back of their heads. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some Destiny's Child people who would have optioned for this movie because they're not doing anything. We could have used the limelight, but no. We just get fake back of their heads. It was offensive. No. Number 9 is Warcraft. Now look, I can understand some gamers loving this movie, but I have never touched the game, so going into the movie, I went in completely blind, and man oh man, did I have a hard time with this movie. I just could not get into it. I found it overly, CGI mess. There was just too much CGI going on in the film to the point where I didn't know where to focus on. I felt like I needed another movie and a book and a pause button so I can pause and do some research on what this was, what that was. It severely missed a main protagonist. I get maybe the game, you choose your protagonist and you choose your side, but it doesn't work for a movie in my opinion. Like, for people who have never watched the movie, I didn't know where I was supposed to put my trust in. It's supposed to be put in the orcs, I'm supposed to put in the, the magician or wizard people. It just was an absolute mess of a movie, and I honestly didn't even find the action sequences great. Like, the orcs battles just looked all too fake in my opinion, and too glossy to really get invested into this movie. Coming in at number 8 is The Huntsman Winters War. Did we really need a sequel to the Snow White and the Huntsman? No, we didn't. And this movie was just a snooze fest. All the actors felt like they were just sleepwalking in their roles, and they just took it for a paycheck gig. I love Emily Blunt, but I honestly did not think she was good in this movie, like, at all. A mess of a movie. It felt everyone was sleepwalking, and just like Billy Lynn, we get a fake Kirsten Stewart in this movie that everyone knows is fake. I get it, even if you take this movie at surface face value, it's still really dumb and boring. Number 7 is Independence Day Resurgence, or as I like to call it, Resurgence, because it just regurgitates everything about the first film back on the screen, and we realized that we didn't even need this because it was dumb, it was uninteresting, it was boring, it was overly long. All the actors, especially Jeff Goldblum, just felt like they were sleepwalking in their roles. And, like Huntsman, even if you take it for surface face value, you realize there's nothing really there. And I just was so bored by this movie. The action sequences were not thrilling at all. And it unfortunately, painfully, leaves it open for a third film that I have a feeling we're probably never going to see. Blessed. Number 6 is Alice Through the Looking Glass. Just further proving why Johnny Depp is a terrible, terrible actor. I cannot stand Johnny Depp as an actor, and this just further proves it. He is just overly forceful. He's just, camping it up, overacting. He's just not a good actor anymore. And it just was a bad movie. The CGI was too glossy, too all over the place. You just couldn't understand and follow the movie because you were just polarized by all this, colors. It just didn't, mesh together, and it gave me a headache while watching the movie. It just was a bad, bad film. Coming in at number 5 is Collateral Beauty, which is more like Collateral Damage. Oh my god, this has to be one of the most manipulative dramas I have ever seen in my life. The movie is so bad, with just every character just standing in one place, delivering long, huge, overly long monologues about life that mean utterly nothing, and just saying the word collateral beauty as many times as you can. It has so many freaking dumb twists after dumb twists. It's so freaking offensive to anyone who's ever lost anyone or grieved. The actors in this movie are so much better that the whole time watching, you're just like, why are you doing this? Do actors even read their scripts anymore? Because if they read the script to this, they would have known that this is a terrible idea for a film, and how this movie got made, I have no freaking idea. This movie is offensive, it's manipulative, it's so poorly done that I honestly don't even think the Hallmark Channel would take this movie. It is so bad. Coming in at number 4, I have Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Look, this has to be one of the most disappointing superhero movies I have ever seen in my entire life. I wanted this movie to be so good. I did. But man, is this movie just an absolute mess. Jesse Eisenberg is just an absolute mess. And I love the kid, but I just did not like his portrayal of this, which I don't blame him necessarily for. I blame more Zack Snyder for. And this movie is just an absolute mess. How it sets the DC cinematic universe is so lazy. I hated this movie. And I can understand there are people out there who like this movie. And you can call me a Marvel fanboy all you want because I give Marvel movies good reviews. Marvel has their act together. So yeah, I'm a Marvel fanboy because Marvel has their act together, and I enjoyed Marvel movies, but I do not enjoy the DC Cinematic Universe, and this is an absolute mess. But not much of a mess as my number 3 film, which is Suicide Squad. Now look, if I had to give a compliment to Batman v Superman, at least it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. This movie doesn't even give us that. This movie completely ignores the 3-act structure of every movie and just gives you an absolute overly long final act that makes no sense, a villain who makes no sense. I really truly mean that. This movie makes no sense. It's just 45 minutes of them cramming the cinematic universe of character introductions that are just, title cards, and we're reading what's about them as we listen to these overly utilized pop songs. They're trying to make this like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's so forceful in that, and it doesn't work at all. The comedy doesn't work. You can definitely see where the reshoots happened. It's just an absolute mess. The action sequences are poorly done. The CGI is poorly done. The dialogue is terrible. And yeah, this movie is bad. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Suicide Squad later on down the road is a definitive reason why the DC Cinematic Universe never really got off the ground. Number 2 is Gods of Egypt. Yep, I watched it. I went and watched it because I'm an idiot and I didn't really listen to the reviews, which I should have, because what a CGI mess. The CGI didn't even look good. It literally looked like they went into General Barr's toilet, grabbed his crap, painted it gold, and just smeared it over the screen for 2 hours. It was so ugly. This is an ugly looking film with terrible dialogue, terrible special effects. The action sequences are not interesting. The story makes no sense at times. It's on the cusp of being so bad it's good, but it just could never get there. And it just, ugh. And ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. The worst movie of 2016 is The Brothers Grimsby. Can't believe I just said those words. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen so many movies in my life. So many movies, and ladies and gentlemen, The Brothers Grimsby is the only movie I have ever got my butt and walked right out of the theater. This is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life. It's so not funny, so offensive, so vulgar, so just missing the mark every single time, to the point that I was actually physically getting sick and nauseous, and I honestly had to leave for the benefit of my life. I could have possibly had died. This movie could have possibly had killed me, you guys. That's how bad this movie is. It's so bad, I don't really even know what to say. It's a movie that exists. It's a motion picture. But it is nothing. Like, this is the type of movie you show aliens and they will run in fear. It's just that bad. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But I do know that this is the worst movie of 2016 and one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And there you have it, you guys. Those were the top 10 worst movies of 2016. Please, let me know in the comment section below what movies you hated in 2016. And look, if I offended you by crapping on a movie that you absolutely love, I don't mean to come at you. I'm just coming at the movies and why I personally didn't like them. And of course, on the screen you can find other great videos to watch, and keep an eye out for my best coming here shortly. And until next time, you guys, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys have just been slashed.